Hi, I absolutely love costume dramas, and today I want to share all of my favorite ones with you. My DVD collection is a very strange combination of horror movies, romantic comedies, adventure stories, and costume dramas. I have quite a lot to talk about, so let's get started. First of all, the two different editions of Sense and Sensibility. We have the 1996 version with Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman, and Kate Winslet and Hugh Grant. I really like the story of Sense and Sensibility because I feel like I can really relate to it. I've also read the book and really enjoyed that, and this is just kind of the most famous version of it. But then I also really like the BBC miniseries, mostly because I didn't know any of these actors before I watched this, so these feel a lot more like the actual characters. Whereas with this film, even though it's fantastic, I've seen all of these actors in so many other movies that I can't quite separate it. And also, in case you like Downton Abbey, the actor that plays Matthew is in here. Let's do some more Regency stuff. Pride and Prejudice. My favorite movie of all time is the 2004 Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. I watch this movie all the time. I would probably say once a month. I love the actors, I love the costumes, I love the music, I love the cinematography. There's not a single thing about this movie that I don't like. And I know it's controversial because loads of people like the BBC miniseries, but I don't care, this is my favorite. And then there's another kind of controversial thing. Lost in Austen, which is a miniseries, and it's kind of a modern adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, but not quite. It's about this girl who's living in like contemporary London who absolutely loves Pride and Prejudice and is a little bit too obsessed with it, and then one day she discovers a door in her house and it leads her into the beginning of the story of Pride and Prejudice in the actual like Regency setting. And basically she has switched places with Elizabeth Bennet and immediately starts just like messing up the entire story by accident by getting drunk and kissing Bingley. I think it's really funny, I really like the music in it, and it's just kind of a twist on the original story. You know, there's like people who've written books kind of based on the Jane Austen world. I don't enjoy that as much, but this is definitely a favorite. Also, the Mr. Collins in this is like the most disgusting man in the world. For some other BBC miniseries that I absolutely love, there is Tess of the Durbervilles, which is quite possibly the saddest thing in existence. I read this book, or part of this book, I can't quite remember, when I was at university. It's the story of Tess Durbervilles, who comes from like quite humble, poor family, and her dad gets told that they might be related to the Durbervilles, the really rich family, so they send Tess to go and claim kinship. And then the rest of the story is about the terrible things that happen to poor Tess. Tess gets told to kind of keep quiet about all the things that have happened to her when she finally meets the man of her dreams, and she's not quite sure if she can do it. Gemma Arterton is absolutely gorgeous in this movie, and also Eddie Redmayne is in it as the love interest. And then another all-time favorite, the Jane Eyre BBC miniseries. In my opinion, a million times better than the movie. If you've seen the movie and you liked it, watch this one. If you're not familiar with the story of Jane Eyre, it is about a governess who goes to work in this like really creepy kind of big mansion. The man that she works for, Mr. Rochester, seems very like mysterious and severe. Eventually they fall in love, but there is some kind of secret hiding in the house slash castle. I've also read this book and really enjoyed it and studied it at university. And then there's two editions of Withering Heights, which is my favorite book that I absolutely love. One of them used to be on Netflix and they just took it down, so I have to go out and buy the DVD. It's the 2009 BBC miniseries, which to me is kind of like the ultimate version. I'd seen it before on TV, and then recently I watched it again on Netflix, and then as soon as it ended, I watched it again, just to kind of show you how much I enjoyed it. And then there's also the 2011 Withering Heights movie. This one is very different. First of all, it just takes the first kind of part of the book, so the older generation, and it's a lot more kind of cinematic, lots of in and out of focus shots, hardly any music, not a lot of dialogue. The actors are very different, but I think both interpretations of it are really good. Also, I know that Withering Heights can be a bit difficult to get through, so if you want to read the book, I would totally suggest watching probably the 2009 version first, and then maybe this one, and then giving the book a go. Shakespeare in Love, also another ultimate favorite. It's about Shakespeare and him trying to write the story that will eventually become Romeo and Juliet, but it also has a lot of the storyline of Twelfth Night mixed in. Gwyneth Paltrow is absolutely amazing in this. I'm not a big fan of her, but she's amazing in this, and she has the most beautiful costumes. They play around with so many lines and jokes from Shakespeare, and if you've ever wondered what kind of the Globe Theatre looked like and things like that, then this is the perfect movie to watch. I'm actually going on a little tour of the Globe Theatre, like either today or tomorrow. I'm very excited. Also, no one ever wants to watch this with me, so I'm fairly certain I've only watched this movie on my own. Then we have Marie Antoinette. I know that there's lots of crossover from a video I did a while ago, which is my 10 favorite movies, but a lot of those just happen to be costume dramas. Story of Marie Antoinette by Sofia Coppola with Kirsten Dunst. It is a long movie, it is a slow movie. A lot of people don't like it. It's just beautiful. The modern music, the beautiful dresses and the colors. Feels like a piece of art to me, and it might not be the most historically accurate, but I feel like it's more meant to kind of make you understand the character of Marie Antoinette. And then finally we have Atonement with Keira Knightley and James McAvoy. It's kind of a more modern setting, Second World War, by the same director as the 2004 Pride and Prejudice. I actually have not read Atonement yet. I do have the movie edition of the book, so hopefully I'll get around to that at some point. Yeah, this is also one of those movies that if I'm not sure what kind of movie I'm in the mood for, I'll often grab Atonement. That was quite a long list. I hope you enjoyed hearing me chat about all my favorite costume dramas. If you have any suggestions for things that I haven't mentioned in this video, feel free to leave them in the comments, or if some of the ones that I mentioned are also your favorites, you can also let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you guys later. Doei!
Hello, me cool.